If you're interested in supporting this work, you can support me on Patreon, and that will help me make more videos and more podcasts for you in the future. Click the link down below on Patreon, or I'll put the link up here in the corner to Patreon, so you can go there and become a Patreon supporter.
Get mantra and meditation MP3s at JasonGallant.ca.
Today I thought a great subject to talk about is what matters. Because a lot of times when we're on this spiritual journey, we're detaching in some way. We're meditating and letting go of everything that matters to our egos or to our point of view. But at some point, as we're meditating, then we'll see some sage or spiritual giant of some sort moving outwards in society and taking everything seriously and doing a lot of stuff. A lot of things start to matter to them, and we're like, oh, well, I thought the spiritual path was about nothing mattering at all. Nothing matters. Why isn't that sage still going inwards and just letting go of everything that matters? Well, the reason why the sage is not doing this is because the sage is not suicidal. So, as you let go of your illusion, something happens. The heart starts to run the show, as I've talked about lots of times. The compassion element starts to run the show. And the compassion element moves. It's the isness in motion. And part of compassion is honoring this life that has been given to you. So that's why we just don't have sages that realize the truth and then say, oh, well, I'm immortal anyway, I'll just commit suicide. Right? There's this movement of lovemaking with existence as it plays through this reality. So it is true that you do a tremendous service to the world as you become free of your own illusory suffering, your own contributions, your own projections, your own misunderstandings about this vehicle that is you. Your own misunderstandings about how you believe that you are the I, and you are the ego, and you are your thoughts, and you are this body. Yes, you must become free of that. That is the first priority. But just like you know that you are not your vehicle, you are not your car, you are not your bicycle, you will still take steps to take care of those things in order for them to be able to function in your life. And such is the same with your newfound rebirth of your ego or identification. In your body, it's like a pet. You still love it, you take care of it. So if someone was going to burn down your house, you would probably say no, and maybe there would be conflict or an argument about that. But it is common for spiritual people or spiritual students to believe that, oh, I should not have that conflict, that is wrong. I should just process my own stuff because it's all my own stuff. I would say there is a possibility of you projecting your own stuff in that moment. But if something is threatening your own safety, then I would say it is also truth and compassion to do what is needed to honor yourself as much as the other. You don't have to become a spiritual doormat. Conflict is still okay. So this is why it's a very confusing path sometimes, because it's just like when you're a child and you learn something, but it's a very simplistic learning. And then later on down the road, when you're ready, you start to learn something more complicated, which may partially contradict what you previously learned. Welcome to the spiritual path. So the truth is when you clean up a lot of your own illusions, your own projections, your own veils, you start to see clearly. And then as you see more clearly than before, perhaps you're not seeing perfect. I'm not saying you are. There's always a percentage of illusion contributing to the ego. I get that. But as you are seeing more clearly, then truth will move in the highest way that it knows how. You will start to make decisions based on this clarity, based on just things making sense. Something that's based on a greater harmony, which may be meaning that you engage in smaller conflict in order for a greater harmony to be established. Sometimes that tough conversation with a friend saves their life. Sometimes that tough conversation with a friend can save them from a lifetime of suffering. This is how there can be a spiritual and divine conflict at work. Conflict is not always wrong. So you don't have to overthink this. You don't have to constantly second guess yourself. Do what you feel to your highest ability is right in your heart. And then at night or during your spiritual practice, you practice of letting go any illusions that you may have, any echoes of suffering that you may have that you're projecting on such situation. And then again, move out into life again. So many people want to learn how to ride the spiritual bicycle without riding the bike. But I will say, it is impossible. It is impossible to learn how to ride the bike without practice and without falling down a few times. So give up on the spiritual perfectionist. That's just not possible in this path. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as you're coming from the most truthful place you can, that offsets the mistake. I have a fly in my hair. They all want to get in on the satsang. I don't know what's going on with that. The flies, mosquitoes, sometimes a crow or an eagle or two. They're not editing themselves. They're like, hey, whatever, I just want to be a part of the party. So have some compassion for yourself. That's my message. Don't worry so much about whether you're doing the right thing or not. Just try your best. As long as your honesty is there, as long as you're being as honest as you can with yourself, then the rest is just stuff that happens. And yes, the external matters sometimes. You deserve to live. You deserve to have your voice. You deserve to be a part of this co-creative game on this planet. You don't just meditate and then give up on your life. Meditation is for bringing clarity. And then when compassion moves, you use that clarity in your life. This is called grounding. You start to apply what you are clear about and make decisions that are in alignment with the greater harmony, even if you sometimes don't understand it. So I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now.
Are you interested in working with a spiritual teacher in a formal setting? Well, perhaps the Wisdom Life School is for you. If you're interested in checking out what the Wisdom Life School is all about, just go to aratima.com.